don't care what you were doing when you were 12. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reading new releases, well, for the next couple days, for the next week, however long it takes. We're going to be reading new releases, and I feel like a new release to me is anything that's been out within the same year. Like, for example, my first ever anticipated release for 2025, I always forget what year we're in, for 2025 was Onyx Storm. And if I still didn't read that in November, I would still be calling it a new release. I would be calling it a new release until December 31st. So some of these books have been out for a little bit, but it's still a new release in my head. So I'm starting out with Deep Cuts, which has been out for a while. I actually don't know when this came out. Maybe in March, and we're now in June. Crazy. It is actually crazy that we're in June. I can't believe how fast time is going. But anyway, we're starting with Deep Cuts. I know for sure we're reading Promise Me Sunshine in this video too, but I don't know what I'm reading after that. New releases only though. I have options. There's so many new releases that I need to catch up on. I don't know why I chose this. It kind of was just calling my name on my TBR. So I'm gonna start this right now. Decided to start this video right now because I need a morning book. I'm reading the Boys of Tommen series on my Kindle. That's like my night book. It's how I fall asleep. But I need something for the mornings, and that's why we're starting off here. So Deep Cuts is about a girl who's going to university in Berkeley, and she feels very intensely about music. She has such big opinions on music, and the funny part about this is that she doesn't have any musical talent herself. She doesn't play an instrument, she doesn't sing, she doesn't write songs, nothing like that, but she just has these really, really big opinions on music, and it honestly comes off kind of intense and obsessive at first. The other main character, Joe Morrow, he actually is a musician. He's in a band, he writes songs, and they kind of end up in a partnership where I feel like she doesn't do enough to even get credited on the songs, but she does give her big opinions, and she's like, take that out, that doesn't sound good, that doesn't work here, that's not right. Her critique actually adds a lot to his process of writing a song. They definitely agree on this collaboration, this partnership, but at the same time she has a crush on him and there's feelings involved. It's kind of complicated, and they do agree to keep it platonic and keep it focused on the music because it can get complicated, but it obviously just, it just ends up being a weird one, and we're kind of going through that with them. This book is so weird for me because it's so fast-paced and I'm flying through it, but I actually don't really care about what's going on in the story. Usually I'm flying through a book when I really care. I care a lot about the characters and the story, and I'm dying to know what's gonna happen. That's usually when I'm reading a book really fast. This one I'm reading it really fast and I don't actually care. The beginning part of it was so focused on the music, the music she was writing or helping Joe to write, but also she's doing these reviews, not reviews, but she's doing these articles. She's writing these articles on different songs, and the whole article would be in the middle of a chapter or an entire chapter. Don't care about that. And just the beginning made me feel like we weren't getting enough of the actual characters and their story. So the little bits that we were getting, I kind of just didn't really care. I don't know, but I'm still reading it so fast anyway. I will say though that I feel like we're getting more of the characters now where I'm at. I'm on page 125, which is kind of crazy. Reading all of that in one day for a book that I don't even really care about. I don't do that. If I'm not like into a story like that, if I'm not invested, it usually takes me days to get through 100 pages. So where I am now, as I said, page 125, we had a time jump already, and so we're kind of seeing how their relationship has progressed, or the lack of progress, I should say, and just how they're still working with each other in general. Like, we're seeing them through the years, but there are time jumps. And as I said, there's more of them incorporated in the story now, which is great. I've seen a couple people compare this to Sally Rooney's writing, and it's one of the reasons that I picked it up. And I wouldn't say the writing is similar. I would more so say the characters just remind me of Sally Rooney's characters. Like, I feel like these are Sally Rooney characters, just American. I definitely agree with that part, not the writing. But the way the characters are, yeah, I'm definitely sensing that, which Sally Rooney has some annoying characters, so I don't know if that's really a plus. I'm almost halfway through the book. Actually, am I already halfway through? I don't know. I think I'm really close to being halfway through the book, and I'll keep you updated on my thoughts. I think that's all I have to say for now. Mic is probably not that great, so bear with me. I'm out here because I just want to read outside. I'm currently on page 175, so I literally have less than 100 pages of this left. I'm just going to sit out here and read until the bugs get me. I hope you heard that. If not, I will insert a voiceover here. But yeah, let's finish up Deep Cuts. This one bites so fast, and honestly, I have no idea how I feel about it. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I just think it's because there's a toxic relationship involved. I'm very much nosy. I'm intrigued. I do love a little toxic relationship in a book. So yeah, let's finish it. So I'm done with Deep Cuts, and I feel like this book was always a little bit boring the entire time I was reading it, but I really did think it had potential to turn around at the end, for something to happen, to actually be interesting. It almost went like, it was just like fine, then it got a little bit interesting, and then it went down. Like, I just don't understand. I feel like it could have been a 3-star book, but it probably won't be. This is one of those books that kind of tell you things within paragraphs, and I feel like it could show you instead. Like, she would quite literally be in a scene with someone else and it would just tell you in a paragraph, I told her how I felt about Joey. And it's just like, that could have easily been dialogue. Like, Percy and Zoe could have just had a conversation. That could have been dialogue, and it would have been better than just a random paragraph saying, I told her what happened with Joey. I hope that makes any sense. It's one of those books where I feel like the author is more so just talking to me instead of like showing me what's happening. All of the characters in this book kind of suck. If you need likable characters, I don't think you'll enjoy this book. I don't mind unlikable characters, but when there's no good story behind it and I'm just reading about these characters that I don't even like really care about, it's not the best. Percy was insufferable, and it's so funny that I was thinking that the entire time, and there's actually a part where she admits it. This part, she goes, "You don't know how insufferable I can be." He leaned forward suddenly, moved his knees so they parted mine. "Come over," he said. I want to suffer you. Honestly, that's pretty cute for two insufferable people. But yeah, she said it, not me. Well, I did say it before she said it, but she agreed. It's so funny to me how short this book is, 271 pages, and yet so much of it still felt so irrelevant. That sounds horrible, but that's truly just what I think. I also kept thinking the entire time I was reading this, like, this is a great concept, such a mediocre execution, and I kept thinking, like, this would be so good if Coco Mellors wrote it. And Coco Mellors literally has a quote on the back of this book. Sometimes we just need to start selling ideas. I'm sorry to Holly Brickley, but maybe she should have just sold the idea to Coco Mellors. That is so mean, I'm sorry. I did underline a few stuff. This one here says, I have no talent, just opinions about people who do. I just underlined that because one, relatable, but also I wanted to show you guys that I'm not the one saying she has no talent. It's quite literally just a thing in the book. Like, it's just not something I'm saying to be horrible, but yeah, it's like her thing. No talent, just big opinions. All my attempts to grow, to find creative independence and purpose were at least partly in service of becoming more lovable. I thought that was a really good quote. So there's this one that I feel in my bones, this feeling of not just loving a song or any work of art, but longing to have created it yourself. It happens when you would identify so intensely with the work, it feels somehow wrong, sad almost, that it didn't come from your own brain. Yeah, I just feel that one. Like, that's me about folklore. And then another one, she's writing about people, really how people use music to get clarity on themselves. Relatable. There are little things in here. I feel like there's more that I'm like missing, but there were some lines that I liked and I thought were done well, or just lines that I related to, but overall this book is not that good, in my opinion. I don't think I would ever recommend it. It's pretty boring. It's one thing for a book to be boring, but like make a point or something. I just don't feel like this made any sort of point. I really liked this quote, but it kind of only makes sense in the context of them and their relationship. But I'm gonna read it anyway. I will always be jealous of you. Fine, I will always be inspired by you, even when you tell me not to be. And I will always be critical of you too. I can't stand it when you don't live up to your talent. And I will always be destroyed by your criticism. I liked that for them. Felt like a good moment. The actual story just felt like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why am I reading this? But it also did go by really fast. So it's not like, I didn't feel like I wasted my time. So I honestly don't know what I'm gonna rate this. I feel like up until today, like when I read the last 100 pages, I was like, this could be a 3. It's not a 3. The last part just threw that out the window. Maybe 2.75 or 2.5. I will definitely tell you my exact rating at the end, but that's what I'm thinking for now. 2.5 or 2.75. We'll probably never think about this again. We'll probably never talk about it again. We'll probably never recommend it to you guys. But if it sounded like anything you're into, you can read it. I don't know. I know for a fact the next book that I'm reading is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone, and I will get back to you when I start this. literally have my sunglasses over my regular glasses because I need them both. It's so bright out here, but I also can't see. So I'm sorry if this looks absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I am on chapter 5 of Promise Me Sunshine, and basically, this is a book about Lenny who just lost her best friend to cancer, and she's really struggling right now. She's really grieving, and she just can't handle even being in her apartment because they live there together. And the only thing she's doing is these like temporary jobs, babysitting, well, random kids. She's just doing temporary jobs babysitting. But one of the kids that she's babysitting, I think that's going to become more permanent. And her uncle, the child she's babysitting, her uncle Miles, is always around, just constantly worried that Lenny isn't a good influence. And then they kind of decide to help each other out because Miles, the uncle, has a kind of strange relationship with his niece and also the mother. So Lenny's gonna kind of help him to connect with his family, but also he's going to help Lenny to get over this grief. There's also this list of things. I'm forgetting like the main point here. There's a list of things that Lenny agreed to do to live again before her best friend died, and so she has to complete this list. And she hasn't started yet because she's just not doing well. And Miles said that he would help her to complete this list. And yeah, it's a book about grief. A girl lost her best friend to cancer. They're about to do a bucket list of things. You get the point. And I'm sure they'll fall in love because so far he's just been everywhere. Anyway, yeah, that's Promise Me Sunshine. That's what I've gotten from 50 pages, and I'll keep you updated. I like it so far. I do love her writing, and I knew I would. Loved Ready or not surprised. So I have like 100 pages left to read of this book, and I haven't really been updating. I feel like there hasn't been much to say. I love Miles. He is so subtle with it, but he's so good. This isn't a spoiler, and you're only gonna get it if you've read the book, but when he made up a fake chore to make sure that she went back to the apartment, I lost it. Another Miles. I feel like we're recycling these book boyfriend names because I'm thinking of Miles from Funny Story, but this is a different Miles, also a 10 out of 10 Miles. The only thing I will say is I feel like they're spending so much time together, and I feel like that could be an easy way to like create more tension and create more like very little subtle moments towards the romance, and the author isn't exactly taking advantage of that, which I kind of get too, because he is helping her with her grieving process, and I feel like that's just such a sensitive thing. And yeah, I definitely understand why it's written the way that it is, but I do wish that there was like just a little bit more tension. But still, there are great moments in here, and honestly, they're so small, it's like you have to really pay attention or you'll miss them. But it's a very nice book. I love the process of them like just hanging out and being. Although I feel like that could be slow for some people because it gets kind of mundane. But they're both great characters, and she's like really funny, and she has this thing where every time she like sees an attractive guy, she kind of falls in love with them like it's not real, but she creates this scenario in her head about them, and it's funny. It's a part of her thing, and she would like move on. She doesn't actually want them. She isn't actually in love with them, you know? She just like romanticizes a man for like 5 minutes within meeting them, and then she's like, okay, yeah, whatever. And her whole thing is like falling in love is the easy part, and she doesn't have to go through the breakup. She's kind of weird, but I love her. There's this thing that he has, a formula I figured out in my dark days. Something good for you, something bad for you, and a change of scenery. That's the winning formula. And I just feel like that's pretty basic, but I needed to hear that too. Like, thank you, Miles. He's really doing such a great job at helping her to cope. And I just feel so bad for everything that she's going through. And it's like, it's a very good balance of, I feel sad for her, but we're living again. We're living life and everything's gonna be okay. Like, it's very hopeful still. And I love that there's that aspect of it. I just don't want to feel down reading it and like, oh my God, this is so sad. It's a great balance. Love how Cara Stone is doing that. So yeah, that's how I feel about this book so far, and I'm probably gonna finish it today. And when I finish it, I'll let you know my rating. Honestly, right now, it's definitely somewhere between a 4.75. I don't think it's a 5-star read, but that could change. I don't know. This afternoon right before I started reading part 3, because this book is split into 3 parts, and literally everything that I said that I would have wanted throughout the book it happened in part 3. Like the tension, the really great moments, building up the romance, all of that really was focused on in part 3. I just needed to have a little bit of patience. So honestly, I guess my complaint would be that it came a little bit too late. I don't know, but it did come though. Very happy about that. Someone from Ready or Not was mentioned in this book and I just wanted to cry. I don't know why, I wanted to sob. It's just so cute. I love when authors aren't doing a series, but they still like connect the books and like make us know it's in the same world, happening at the same time. I love when they create a universe. I feel really lucky that I never had to experience grief this way, and even though I never have, I still felt like I was learning things, like maybe how I could help someone who's going through this, or God forbid, if I have to go through it in the future, I feel like I would literally drop everything and pick this book back up, because it really does feel like the little things that are mentioned here, you wouldn't think about it when you're going through such a stressful time, and it just seems like it could be helpful. As I was saying, there was that line about the formula being like something good for you, something bad for you, and a change of scenery. Like even when I'm not going through anything, I feel like that's a great little thing to have going on. And just simple things that you forget when you're going through it, you know? Maybe this would be cheesy or corny to someone who is actually going through very serious problems, but I think this would be a lovely escape, and this would be a book that could really like give someone hope. I really loved how much the tone was still hopeful while we were seeing her literally break down. And I think I'm sorry, I hate to bring up a different book, and this is one that I've been bringing up and comparing a lot, but Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez kind of missed that this year. Like there was a lot of sadness and not enough hope. This one, great balance of that, and I've said that already. I feel like the third part also focused on Miles connecting with his family, and it was just the most wholesome thing. I don't know if I mentioned, but the family that he's trying to connect with is his niece that the main character Lenny is babysitting, and also his sister, which is his niece's mom, obviously. Seeing them like finally get to a good place, everything about it was just so wholesome. I don't even know how to rate this, because I remember saying that I don't think this is gonna be 5 stars. I feel like it's gonna be somewhere between 4 and 4.75 earlier, but that third part really gave me 5-star feelings. I was literally outside like giggling, kicking my feet, looking around, making sure no one was watching me being crazy out there. But yeah, the whole book didn't give me a 5-star feeling, so but the freaking did. So what does that say? I think I'm gonna give it 4.75. If I continue to think about it a lot and I like literally can't stop thinking about it, it could change to a 5. This was really, really good. And I actually liked this even more than Ready or Not. Cara Stone, I'll be sad for your next release, which I think The Naked Eye, yeah, there's a sneak peek from it. I don't usually like to read these. Yeah, I'll just wait, but I will be sad for it because this was amazing. The next book I'm gonna read is on my Kindle. I'm gonna read Rewind It Back. It's the 5th and last book in the Windy City series, which is so sad. I can't believe it's over. But she did announce Monty's book, so technically it's not over until we get that one. You know what's a silly and petty thing that I don't like about interconnected standalone series? Like, I feel like the last book, the people aren't always connected enough for me. And it's usually the female main character too, because I was just about to say, the only thing I know about Rewind It Back is that it's Second Chance. Obviously, it's Rio's book. We've been waiting for Rio's book. And the female main character, her name is Hallie or something like that, or Haley or something like that. And I'm just like, who is Hallie? Who is Haley? Who is this person? I don't think she was mentioned in the last book, and if she was, I maybe just wasn't focused on it and I was just focused on the actual couple. I don't even know, but it makes me think about the Chestnut Spring series and how connected all of those people were. Like literally the first book, Summer and Rhett met each other because Summer's dad was working with Rhett. That's how they know each other and that's how they met. And then the second book was about Rhett's brother and Summer's best friend. Major connection there. And then the third book was about Jasper, who they literally grew up with, who was literally like a brother to them. And I'm pretty sure the female main character is their cousin or something. And then the fourth book, Summer's sister and Theo, who works with Rhett. And then the fourth book was another Eaton brother. But the girl was so random. It just felt like, who are you? This interconnected standalone, like all of the people got mentioned in such a nice way. Like we obviously met Stevie's brother, and then we also met Kai in the first book, and we've known Rio from the beginning too, and then we knew that like he was obsessed with Kennedy, and it just connected and flowed really well. And so now who's Hallie? It's always just some random person in the last book. I'm excited nonetheless. I love a second chance romance. One thing about me, I love a second chance. But anyway, I'm gonna start this as my bedtime book. Let's read on my Kindle before bed. Perfect. I'm about to go take a walk while I read. I kind of feel like these types of books are hard to go into detail because everything feels like a spoiler. But anyway, it is a second chance romance. I'm pretty sure I said that already. I'm only on chapter 3. And I remember I was ranting about how I hate when the female main character feels so far away, and that's definitely happening here. We're kind of learning about her situation. I'm just like, who are these people attached to her? I don't know, it just feels distant from the rest of the series, but it's going okay so far. Literally on page 5 they had a text thread with the rest of the people from the other books, and Ryan Shea was mentioned, and I just could not stop smiling. Sometimes I wonder if I actually really like this series or if I just want an update on Ryan Shea. Anyway, yeah, there are some throwback chapters, past and present timeline thing going on, which I usually hate. For someone who likes second chance romance, it's kind of my struggle here, but I usually hate that. And that's why I stopped off at chapter 3 where it said age 12. I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. But I'm ready to read it now. last time I filmed or said any, actually I don't even think I said anything. I think I was filming me making breakfast, and my intentions were to like have my breakfast, read a little, talk about the book a little bit, but I just couldn't, because the first 120 pages of this book is just so boring. I've never been so bored by a sports romance in my life. I've never been so bored by Liz Tomfort in my life, because I think she does a good job at like getting into the story without wasting my time. It took me days to read 120 pages, and I didn't feel like talking about it. I wasn't interested at all. And also I was talking about how it does the past and present timeline thing, which I don't like. And it's my downfall with second chance romance, even though I love second chance romance so much. But anyway, they start with those like past chapters when they're like 12. I don't care what you were doing when you were 12. I don't think that we need to go that far back. Like, okay, great, you met when you were young, you were neighbors, you became best friends because of that. Like, just say that, and let's speed up to when things actually matter, you know what I mean? Anyway, my point is that I've finally kind of gotten through the worst part. I'm hoping it's the worst part of it, the most boring part of it. Like, the setup of the book just threw me off, and I think I'm gonna sit here and like really binge it. Also, another thing that I was talking about, how I think I said this already too, the book feeling distant from the rest of the series. Yeah, and there's like new friends involved. Like, first of all, I barely know who Hallie is, and now you're bringing her friends. Like, who are you? So yeah, new people. I don't know. I just don't really know how to feel, but I shouldn't be too negative, because I'm only 120 pages in, and it could look up from here, because I am more intrigued now. So I'm gonna sit here and binge it and keep you updated. Wait, one more thing I wanted to say is that there are these moments where Rio is having these monologues, these like deep monologues about what happened in the past, and it's like, babe, I don't know what happened yet, because obviously, you know, when this kind of second chance romance happens, we find out why they broke up or they fell out or whatever it is, and we find out that later. But he's having these like intense inner monologues about it. I'm just like, I'm not on the same level as you. I don't have all the information as you, so like, I don't care about this inner monologue right now, and it does absolutely nothing for me, and I just want to skim and keep going. But it's just, I don't skim, but that's actually so annoying. Like, I don't have any information, babe. You know how when a girl is like not like other girls, and she doesn't like to hang out with girls because girls are too much drama, and she just likes to chill with the guys. I feel like that's what Rio is, but like obviously the opposite. Like, he loves to hang with the girls, and he will let you know every chance he gets. Like, we get it, he's one of the girls, we get it. Also, this book too involves a lot of, well, not kind of, involves a lot of music as well, and I'm just like, free me. The part where they first see each other again, like, there was a line, let me find it. They make eye contact and she goes, "The arena has emptied out. It's completely silent. Only him and me." And that reminds me of the High School Musical scene when she's like, "Troy, right now I can hardly breathe. You can do it, just know that I believe." Like that. That's what it feels like. It's so dramatic. He also did something so cute. I won't give exact details, but the part with the blanket and the pillows, if you know, you know. He's honestly an angel. He is. I was just a little bit bored at first. You know, I
actually really like the fact that she isn't. Did I ever say what this book is about? I don't know, because I started reading it so long ago. I mean, I did. Talked about like childhood friends to lovers, whatever. But she is an interior designer, and she ended up getting a job to redecorate his home without knowing that it was him. And so a lot of that plays into the plot too. They're spending a lot of time together because of that, but also like knowing that she's decorating his home, and obviously romance book. I'm not spoiling anything. Obviously romance book, they're gonna end up together. They're gonna end up together, and guess what? Where is she gonna live? That part is just, it's so wholesome to see her decorate this home and like put what she loves into it, knowing that they're gonna end up together and she's gonna end up living there. I love that part. It's like hours later and I'm in the same spot. You wouldn't even know, but I ate dinner. I watched Love Island, caught up on all the episodes. I want to talk about it, but that's not what this video is about. But anyway, I came back and I finally finished Rewind It Back. And honestly, it really redeemed itself at the end. Like, the reason they broke up, stopped talking, all of that, Lifetime soap opera vibes, and I love that. I personally love that. I was like, oh, okay. Bring me the drama, finally. But Rio's mom, she needed to be so for real. Anyway, obviously, it all worked out in the end, and I'm happy for them. There was so much drama for a little bit, and that was the best part, really. Liked that more than the romance, which is kind of sad. Also, I have a prediction. The new person that I was complaining about when I was like, we're bringing in Hallie's friends and it just feels like far away from the series, my prediction is that she's setting up a new series, because there was this moment where she was having a conversation with her friend and she was giving so many details, and I was like, what does this have to do with me? Or literally anything. I'm like, wait, this is probably like details for a new series, and it sounds like it's gonna be good. I think I'm gonna enjoy that. I'm kind of excited now. I know I was being so negative about it the entire time, but honestly, a great way to lay out the cards. I also can tell we're gonna get a lot of cameos from everyone in the series. If you read the epilogue, you'll know that cameos will happen, but also mostly from Rio and Hallie because they're closest to this person. But yeah, this Tom Ford knows what she's doing, and I clearly just didn't get it. I didn't see her vision, but I do see it now, and I will be sad for that next series. Honestly, I just don't love this as the final book of this series. I feel like it could have been more connected as a good way to wrap it up, but it's what we got and it's fine. And maybe it isn't so connected because it's like, well, this isn't the last you're gonna see of them. You're gonna see them in the next series, so don't you worry. Also, we know we're getting Monty's book, so we're gonna see them there too. Maybe that's why she didn't give us that much of everyone else. She was like, listen, you'll see them again, and that's cool too. I overall think I'm giving this 3.5 though. I don't really think it can be any more than that or any less. The beginning, didn't love it. The ending really redeemed it. So yeah, 3.5. I should get the other books. Okay, so Deep Cuts, 2.75. I think you can live without it. I don't think you need to read this. I mean, if what I've mentioned in the earlier clips really intrigues you, then go for it. But if you are disappointed, I told you so. And then Promise Me Sunshine, I really enjoyed this. This is such a good contemporary romance. Honestly, Cara Stone is probably going to become an auto-buy author for me after I've read this. This is 4.75. And then Rewind It Back. What did I say? 3.5. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you got to this point of the video, comment a music emoji, any kind of emoji related to music, since we were bombarded with so much music talk in these books. Thank you for watching. like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.